Yeah,
Okay.
so Tony,
Um,
tell us about
Welcome.
what happened.
First of all, I want to say um, it's a pleasure coming back to my second episode of the K Press Sports Channel, and we're going to be talking about some few boxing and MMA talks that has been happening in the last two consecutive weeks, and just so we can start off, uh, Emmanuel Miners is my co-host, and to ask him how is he doing right now.
Yeah, me, I'm doing real good, bro. How about you, my guy? I've been real well, just following up on all of these developments. How have you been?
I've been good. Um, you know, I've been getting through it, and to start off with, especially big news that happened, especially last week. I mean yesterday. Uh, in boxing. Liam Paro, uh, Liam Paro versus Richardson Hitchens was set up in Puerto Rico by a promoter known as Eddie Hearn, where Liam Paro was supposed to defend his IBF title against Richardson Hitchens at the 140-pound division. Um, Richardson Hitchens became victorious, becoming a new world champion at 140 pounds, defeating Liam Paro and becoming the new IBF champion of the world.
Yeah. I saw that news as well. I mean, like, do you think that like that had something to do with that like Australia's boxing scene hasn't like developed as much?
No. Australia's boxing scene is really on the map. I can't say that they're lacking behind. It's just that uh Richardson Hitchinson is a world class fighter. No disrespect to Liam Paro. Personally, I was going for Richardson Hitchens to win, and he won. If I was a betting man, I would have still bet on Richardson Hitchens. And to see him win his first world title is very remarkable at
Yeah, yeah.
also his young age.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you. I mean, even okay, seeing that like this was the lightweight title, what do you think that Paro would have done to like make sure that he hadn't like lost? As in like, what do you think were like his biggest flaws coming into this game?
I think it's just his biggest flaw is he can't match his fight IQ with Richardson Hitchens. I was watching the fight and I could just see the first 4 rounds. I think they were even scored to Liam Paro, and the rest of the fight was completely dominated by Richardson Hitchens. But I think there's a judge who even scored the fight 117, 111 to to Liam Paro, something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. The
that
scorecards actually were 117 to 111 Paro. Another one was 116 to 112. Then the other one was 116 to 112 as well. So it was quite close, I'd say.
I wouldn't say it's close. That was to me personally, the fight I watched, that was supposed to be a unanimous decision
Oh,
by
unanimous, eh?
Richardson. Yeah, he put on a boxing clinic. Paro didn't know what to do. He couldn't get past his jab and everything. Even though Paro has been dominating the 140-pound division in the last, let's say, one and a half years. I just knew that Richardson Hitchens is a different class of fighter. I know he trains with the elite class. He trains with Javonte, Shakur, Terence Crawford. He's been to the Olympics back in 2016, and yeah,
So like
I mean, I want to.
I'm looking at news showing that like Paro actually was like outlanding him in terms of punches during three the first three rounds apparently. Then like when it came to the seventh, it like appears that like Paro started like really gassing out. Hitting started really like hitting like a solid right to Paro's chin according to this article. Do you think that like Paro gets gassed out really easily? Or do you think that like Kitchens was like quite a good matchup for him?
Rich Hitchens was quite a good matchup for him, even though people were still doubting Hitchens because of his last performance in his last fight. I knew that I could clearly see that Paro just didn't have the answers of what Hitchinson brings. His game was too elite for him, and I'm very excited to see what Richardson Hitchens brings to the table. Next at 140, he has fights like Teofimo. He has so many fights now that he can step up to top class fighters and everything. Big fights. It's going to be exciting. Personally, I'm a fan of Richardson Hitchens.
Mm. So can you tell us more about like Australia's boxing scene? Because like earlier I like alluded to the fact that like maybe like it could be because that like his boxing scene that like the country's boxing scene hasn't like developed. But then this turns out to be his first loss in here.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. No, he's not. I don't think maybe. I'm not sure it's his first loss. Maybe his
It is,
second. I'm
because
not
here,
sure.
it's saying the win takes Hitchens to 19, while Paro tests defeat for the first time and slips to 25 to 1.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
it's
okay.
his first
But I,
loss.
I, I felt it was. I think I remember there was somebody who knocked him down in one of his fights. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, yeah, he has one loss. Yeah, and that's to Richardson Hitchens, which
Do
which
you
is
know
a
like
fair. Which
any other like Australian boxer? Because I personally don't really follow
yeah.
like Australia's boxing scene like that close.
There's one good fighter who lost I think maybe a month 2 months ago. His name is called Tim Zoo. He's he fights at 154 pounds. I mean, he's a good fighter, but he lost his last two fights in the US. And there's another fighter called George Kambosos who fights at 135 pounds.
Yeah, yeah, George Cambosos. I'm even looking at him right now.
Yeah.
Seems to be quite impressive, Cambosos.
Yeah, I wouldn't say yeah, impressive, yeah, but I wouldn't say he's
Yeah, he's
elite
not
or
elite.
anything.
Yeah, I do completely agree. I don't think he's elite, but like he's 5'9", bit old now, 31 years. He's
Yeah,
yeah,
his significant win was in 2022, where he actually upsetted Teofimo Lopez and became the WBC lightweight champion of the world.
yeah. I'm just looking at that news right now. So like, do you think we should shift our attention to Shakur Stevenson, or like where do you want to guide
Yeah,
the whole discussion?
definitely talk about and the 135-pound scene where they're all battling for number one, and we have Shakur Stevenson who's been set up to fight an upcoming talent known as Floyd Schofield. And Shakur's last fights, he's been receiving lots of criticism from the boxing world about his performance in terms of bring that excitement to the fights and everything. And most casuals just call it as running. They don't know really. They just call like running. They say he runs in his fights and everything. So the boxing promoter known as Turkish Alashik has been setting up all these crossover fights that people want to see but have never been happening because of boxing politics and everything. So the point where he brings them together, where he has enough money to bring them together, just like the way he was offering a rematch for Mike Tyson and Jake Paul for 700 million in Saudi Arabia. So Taki Alashik set up a card in February 2025 where both Shakur and Floyd Schofield are going to be fighting on the undercard for at 135 pounds in 2025, which is
Yeah,
going to be a good matchup in my opinion.
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of
So
people
like,
want to see that fight.
what exactly like makes this matchup like very interesting to you personally? Is it because of like
Mm,
Is it like because of like Stevenson's record of like 10 KOs and 22 and 0?
um, not okay. You can say his record, but it's more of his pedigree. Shakur is a world class boxer. won the bronze in the Olympics, and Floyd Schofield is just the same, but the difference is that he's younger. He's not as experienced as Shakur, but
Yeah, he's
he
young, yeah.
his skill, yeah, his skill level is let's say up to par, but Shakur definitely has more experience in the pros. And Floyd Schofield, I think he's ranked as number two. I don't know in which particular sanctioned body, but what I do know is I think Shakur is mandatory or something, and Floyd Schofield says he wants to prove that he's the best at 135 pounds. So why not let him fight Shakur Stevenson and show why he actually proves why he's the best at 135 pounds. And if you actually beat Shakur, you can get fights like with Javonte and everything, because a lot of people first want to see Javonte versus Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah. I remember seeing similar news like last week about like how like Devontae would like possibly have a fight with him. Do you think that's going to happen? Because I also had news at like Devontae was like hinting at retiring as well.
Mm, mm. I mean, with boxing, everything just comes to money. Personally, the reason even Javonte is talking of retiring in at the end of
Exactly. That's so
2025
true.
is
That's so true, Anthony. Because right now I'm looking at an article by Boxing News 24/7. It starts saying this. For Han, who's the like okay, so promoter Eddie Han has mapped out Shakur Stevenson's 2025, revealing that he'll fight Floyd Schofield in February 22nd, as you've just stated. But now he said for Han to get Tank to agree to to fight Shakur is going to take a massive offer. Exactly. So it's just exactly as you've stated. It all comes down to money, my guy. Very accurate.
offer, and I think Tank wants to let go of his promoter who goes by the name of Al Heyman, who's a very who's known widely for being a huge promoter and setting up these huge events since the 90s and everything. And I personally think maybe Tank wants to once out of the deal with him and become his own brand
His own promoter.
personally. Exactly. That's why I think he's talking of retiring,
A lot of
because
guys do
most
that.
boxers
Yeah,
who
yeah,
retired just
yeah. Even the NBA,
come by they come by
there
after
was like this point guard. I forgot his exact name, but like he was also his own agent. The guy didn't have an agent. He was actually his own agent.
there's actually his own agent and everything. So I was thinking, do you think that if if Shakur and Javonte were to fight, who do you think would win?
Well, I mean, Javonte right now is pushing what age right now?
He turned 30.
Wow, so the guy's on the third floor right now. So I think his age could like kind of a little bit fumble a bit, but the guy is still a champion. I don't think this, hey bro, this guy's trained by Floyd personally. Hey bro, I don't think this guy's gonna lose, bro. If they were to fight, that's my
But he wasn't
just my
so
personal opinion.
I can't say he was trained by Floyd personally. He was just more promoted by
Yeah, by
Floyd.
him, yeah, also I've seen like videos of him like training with him and so on. So I could like confidently say that like all the coaching that he's gotten, all the advice he's also gotten from like all these other greats. I really feel this guy
What, what,
can't be defeated.
what if I say, what if I tell you, what if I tell you that Shakur has the same, has just also just been trained the same way?
Oh, like by like the same by the same people. Yeah, for sure. I understand. I mean
Yeah.
like he also has a chance. I personally have not like seen most of his fights, but I can say that
Mhm.
like even just like by his record of like having all right now, no losses. I mean, yeah. I mean he could do it. There's a possibility. But like most probably draw. A
Uh,
draw. Maybe a draw.
uh, since Shakur and Fred Schofield are going to be fighting in February 22nd, I personally feel Shakur is going to maybe edge out the win against Floyd Schofield. But in the recent interviews Javonte has been doing, he says that he doesn't have any fights in interest in fighting Shakur Stevenson or anything like that.
Ah, okay.
He will call out his next opponent after his fights in the post-fight interview. So I'm curious to see about that.
What? Sorry.
Um, he's going to be Javante says he's going to be announcing his next opponent his after his after his post-fight interview,
Yeah.
and his next fight in March 2025.
Yeah. Cause even right now, I'm looking at a certain article written by Bain Sports. They're talking about how like he's like apparently going to like announce his like retirement in like next year apparently. But this is by Bain Sports, US, the
Yeah.
US division. So they're saying apparently Javonte is one of the biggest names in global boxing, has confirmed his career is coming to an end with an impeccable record of 30 fights undefeated and 28 knockouts. The 30-year-old fighter has announced that he plans to retire in 2025. So this year, so next year is probably his last year. What do you think about that?
What do I think? Pardon?
Like about him saying that like he'll retire by next year. Next year he's saying that like it's going to be his final year, according to a report by Bein Sports.
Yeah, most boxers just say that, and even if they'll retire, they'll just unretire after 6 months or something like
Yeah,
that.
then
So
come
it's
back.
not
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah. Like LeBron. LeBron likes doing that stuff. He likes like hinting at you, oh, I'm going to retire, then he just comes back.
And back to talking about Taki Al Sheikh, the Saudi Arabian promoter. If there's somebody who can actually give Javonte the money he wants, is going to be Taki Al Sheikh. He that's the person who's making things happen right now in boxing and everything.
Yeah, I'm even like looking for like some of like the contracts that like he got like from some of the previous fights. These are some huge deals, my guy, mostly from the PBC. I'm looking at one from May. Just give me a minute as it opens. So this basically article is talking about how like the difference between like between like who has a better legacy between like Davis and Mayweather. Who do you think has a better legacy between like
And
both fighters?
Mayweather, hey,
Yeah, Mayweather, yeah.
Javonte still has a lot of work to do. I think Mayweather's personal career has to go hands down one of the best in
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 boxing
history.
history, yeah, for sure. That can't even be
I mean,
even.
Mayweather has a record of 50 and 0 and 27 knockouts, and he's beaten 40 world champions out of that 50 and 0 record.
Yeah. So like I'm trying to look at the year at what point like he retired. Mm,
Who Mayweather
yeah.
in 2027, his last fight was McGregor.
Yeah, and I'm looking
That
for
was
like
his
like
last pro.
how old was he? He was 40, guy. This guy is still pushing at 40. And his last fight was at 40, bro. That's crazy.
Okay, that wasn't his last fight. That was his last pro fight.
Yeah,
Was
last
at
pro
40.
fight. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Last fight- His last fight was against John Gotti the third at the
Yeah, I
rematch.
remember,
I
I
think
remember.
happened.
Yeah. I remember that fight. Yeah. In fact, I even came to your place when we were talking about that fight.
That was the first one. The rematch happened this year.
Hmm. My God, bro, I'm telling
Back
you.
it happened down, up and down in Mexico.
Yeah, but this guy is crazy. Crazy records, my guy. Why do you think that like
hmm
boxing? Okay, like, do you think boxing is like a black dominated sport?
Black dominated.
Yeah, as in like how like the NFL we can say
Okay, okay, then
that
you can
like
say,
the
yeah,
best players are
okay.
like
You can
black,
say,
and how we can
yeah,
say that like the MLB it's mostly
okay,
like filled with
yeah,
white players like that. The NBA it's mostly black. That's not even a
yeah, you can,
discussion.
okay, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. For sure, you can say that boxing is black dominated, but you should never, you should, okay, yeah, for sure, yeah. can think that boxings are
I
black
was just I,
dominated
I was just
sports
I was
because
just I was just like I was just like
Muhammad Ali.
thinking of it like randomly, yani. Cause it seems like most of the great like fighters I've seen just tend to be like mostly like
Are
black.
black.
Yeah, yeah, Muhammad,
Uh,
Tyson, exactly. Like this is like that's the point I'm trying to say. Foreman, all these types of people.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For sure. That's actually accurate.
yeah, cause as in like I've just like randomly thought of it, cause like recently I was looking at like how they're talking about like the MLB and how like it's mostly like dominated by like whites, and that's kind of true really. Cause like you rarely see any like
Mm.
good black players in like baseball.
But what if black people said baseball? Would they dominate it too?
I'm not sure, because I think it's mostly like a cultural thing, as in like they're mostly used to like some of these like actual physical sports that require like the body as much. Baseball doesn't really require the body as much, just hitting a ball with a stick.
For technique, it's more
Yeah,
technique.
yeah, yeah. It's more technique because like usually most of these games are physical. You see, like boxing, I'm punching you. I have to like actually dominate you physically. Then we go to some other sport. It's like basketball. You really need to know how to defend your guy, attack. You know, like some of these sports, I feel that like
Mm.
yeah,
Physically, you want to
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
put it
yeah, yeah. The ones that
uh,
are physically demand.
basketball.
Have you been following Pass Lap of late?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw Pass Lap. G.
Mm. Uh, I really don't watch
Your audio is breaking up a bit, bro.
a lot of
Bro, I can't hear you. Your audio is actually breaking up.
I just watched the past. You can hear me now.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
You can hear me now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Mayweather's youngest protege. His name is Kamel Morton. He didn't, he wasn't able to fight because um, apparently he missed wait, wait, he he missed it and he wait, but 15 over things has maybe think now on the maybe the next 10 years for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Because even there's like certain news showing that like even right now, there was this report in 26th of April. You're Tony.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, so there's like there's something to
I'm
show.
listening.
Yeah, yeah. So there's like this report I'm showing that like he hasn't really fought in a while. Because like even looking at news for the guy, there's barely any news about him. His protege.
I no Kamel has been fighting in our
Yeah. Like I can see his like most recent
started
fight was
his
in
fighting
August.
career at 17.
Sorry guys, it seems Tony broke off there because of the net. But thank you for joining KE Press Sports today with our boxing analysis. Uh, be sure to catch us next time as we give you more analysis on boxing and everything to do with combat sports. Thank you for joining us. I've been your host, Emmanuel Makome. Thank you.